towers of...
Alright, draft has started, folks. Let's see what our first bans will be in this game 1. Thank you for bearing with me as I figure out how to phase between scenes and all of that smooth stuff that everybody else does so well. Maev as a first ban. Very atypical first ban. You might think that that would be a targeted ban upon someone over in Phoenix Rising Xanthite's side. Don't know who that could be, but that's my intuition is that would be a very particularly targeted pick. Stukov, fairly common ban or first pick on any team, very well-rounded healer, fits most team comps. Junkrat, also very annoying, very powerful in Towers of Doom, also coming out as the first ban. Bans are coming out awful fast here. Brightwing also banned out on behalf of Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Don't want to see the global pressure coming out from that particular hero, or global healing and split push power. Tahaka being first picked on behalf of Running Wild. Powerful laner, great global ability, mobility, good tongue drag if somebody can get in range and drag a squishy target back into his team.
It is time.
Zul and Cassia coming out for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Zul very powerful solo laner, and Zul, this may be his best map as well because as most of us know, Towers of Doom's most consequential lane is bottom lane, which means you can leave. Zul can allow the 4-man to simply stay in bottom lane while he double soaks top. Cassia, very powerful, very consistent, and fairly durable assassin also coming out there. Anduin and Sylvanas picks for Running Wild. Anduin, very steady healer, good saves, good leap of faiths to save his teammates. Has a pretty good root ability and very strong. Light Bomb is a very strong ultimate ability. Sylvanas, powerful macro healer with a lot of abilities in her Swiss Army knife there. Third ban from Phoenix Rising Xanthite is going to be Anubarak. Anubarak could be one of the best tanks in the game if you value tanks based on their ability to control how a team fight goes. And Joanna, the third ban for Running Wild. Very common tank, very consistent tank, pretty powerful. Very good ultimates. Decorative Variant coming out for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. You might think that this would be a taunt variant. Most of the times they are competitive play, which means that the 4-man of Phoenix Rising Xanthite will probably be a pick comp, securing taunting one particular target for Variant and the rest of the team collapsing upon him. Blaze and Falstad for Running Wild. Blaze is in recent metas a better bruiser than a tank, but lately, given his adjustments in recent patches, he's moving more like a proper tank now. Falstad, also a good hero with great global pressure. We could say that there's double globals going on for Running Wild there. Zeratul being the final pick for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Very good late game damage spike on Zeratul, very good at isolating particular targets. Anduin's probably going to be feeling the pressure for that as we get closer to level 20 at the end of this match here. So let's have a look at these team compositions. I'm pretty certain that Phoenix Rising Xanthite's composition is going for a pick with Varian taunting a target, and then Zeratul and Cassie will blow them up. Of course, Deckard has good roots and slows that he can apply to multiple targets. Good zone control there. But the macro game is going to be coming up for. Is going to be coming out for Running Wild. They have two global heroes, and Sylvanas has good split push pressure. Can turn off structures' ability to deal damage, which increases the lifespan of particular pushes. One moment here. I should turn off these cursor guidelines, huh? Options. Where are my cursor guidelines? Gameplay. Cursor guys, we don't need to see that. Alright, in the blue trunks, we have Ceton Verhood 1 on Falstad, and Sylvanas, or excuse me, Kairu on Sylvanas, Full-on Grits on Blaze, Mr. Executive on Anduin, and Lixia on Tahaka in the red trunks. Oop, we've got a pause game. That gives me a moment to get the roll call for the folks in the red trunks. Joshua Scott on, that looks like that looks like Varian. Hiva as Zeratul, Iron as Deckard, that'll be Veggies on Kairu, putting on her carry pants. Good for her. Oh, holy smokes, we're not actually in game yet, are we? I'm sorry, folks. Here we go. Figuring it out here. Welcome to the game. Finally, we're in here, but we have a pause. We're going to be pausing a little bit. Should be a pretty good. So let's see while we're paused here, let's see what's at stake. So, like I mentioned earlier, Phoenix Rising Xanthite are in second place, and Nexus. First place is Caffeinated Knights, the team that I am a healer sub for, has 23 points, and so Phoenix Rising Xanthite's aim is to advance their lead towards first place. I don't know if there are enough rounds left in the season to actually secure it. To perhaps take first place from from Caffeinated Knights, but they want to increase their lead. They're certainly going to keep their keep a pretty high seed going into the postseason. Third place is Gen M Esports with 16 points, only 2 points behind Xanthite here, and couldn't say what the Gen M Esports matchup is this week, but PRX aim to keep ahead of them. As far as Running Wild, we'll move the map over to them. As far as Running Wild, they are 5th place at 14 points. The 4th place team in Nexus is Minion Miners at 15 points, and so assuming they can get a couple points tonight, they could reclaim 4th. Then, depending upon how Minion Miners perform this week, 6th place is Gilly Shark with 13, and so between Gilly Shark at 13 at 6th place, Minion Miners at 15 at 4th place, and Running Wild 14 points at 5th place. There's a concentration of teams in the center of the pack. And so, depending on how tonight goes for Running Wild, there's a chance they could advance one spot, and perhaps more than one spot. I forget who's third here in Nexus Div, or if they get 0 points, they could stagnate and have a Minion Miner and have a Gilly Shark maybe advance upon them. Looks like Kairu's back, and so we are back into the game. Level 1 talents coming out. Might of the Banshee Queen, Gathering Storm, Enhanced Agility, Power Word Shield, and Careless Impact for Blaze. Besides, Scroll of Identity, Charge Strike, Shockwave, Overpower, and Shadow Hunter. Oh my goodness, Varian goes down. He's not yet a hero until level 4. And he gets the ability that defines the rest of his build. No more Div be any. That's right, no more Div be any. Thank you, Dr. Sigeli. I got word from the teams that one of them has forfeited, so we will not be having that cast tonight. This other Nexus Div match was going on at the same time, and so I simply slid into taking that one instead. Running Wild is starting their camp here. Certainly going to take it without being contested. That makes the other map up for grabs, and I think that's a pretty good idea. Running Wild have a full team here. Of course, like I said, Veggie's is not a proper team. Veggie's getting, holy smokes, lots of damage coming out upon Veggie's variant. Goes down for a second time in 90 seconds of gameplay, and the other Pumpkin Camp is going to be going to Running Wild. Pumpkins coming down here. However, we can see that the majority of Running Wild are in the mid. Now, Phoenix Rising Xanthite have a double soaker. This guy right here is going to be bouncing in between top and middle lanes. But they, oh my goodness, Lazy Eider, you're going down again. He goes down his third time. Oh my goodness. 3 deaths in 2 minutes and 15 seconds feels bad, man. Running Wild correctly maximizing their early game pressure to get as much advantage as they can onto the bottom of the 2 camps, and their good chip damage upon this bottom tower here. First objective is coming up. There are 3 altars up for grabs. Joshua Scott is doing some chip damage upon top here. Paiva is rotating onto Zahaka, going to get a little more damage on him. It's a 2v2 on top, which means there are could be as many as a 3v3 on bottom. Looks like each team are going to take their individual camps, or their individual altars on opposite sides of the top lane. And Running Wild will be taking the one in the middle. Veggies says nope, you are not going to take that just yet. Gets the taunt on Blaze. Blaze quite a BFK. He's going to survive the engage. Damage is split there. Gage comes in, gets a focus on the 2 members. There are 3 pressing on to Zeratul, but Zeratul is just too flashy to get away. This altar is still up, but VRX have a little more dispersed over the map. There are members on all 3 of their lanes, whereas Running Wild are a little more concentrated to the center and bottom. Oh, looks like there was a gank coming upon Falston here. He's going to get away with 150 health, and that last altar will be going to Running Wild. Just a little pillow fight going on up here. Minions are not doing too much up here. Running Wild are retaking their left pumpkin camp. He's just lurking for a taunt. Roger Scott can be trying to take this top pumpkin camp. Hopefully he sees him as he does it. Or Doc doesn't see him as they do it. Taunt onto Blaze. But as mentioned before, he has a pretty big health bar, and so he's to escape, including his passive, his AoE damage around him. I don't know how that helps him survive any, but it does do a little more damage there. Joshua Scott's probably going to take this camp uncontested. Running Wild is advancing onto. Let's do a little more damage there. Good chip damage coming out on that bottom tower there. They retake that. All 5 members take this camp again, and are going to be pushing it against there. If even one of these pumpkins gets through, blows up onto the tower, that tower will be going down, which is not something you want to see happen in 5 minutes and 30 seconds of gameplay here. Full-on Grit misses a field goal, or does a field goal. Can't get any. Not get anybody with that charge there, kind of right between Veggies, Varian, and Lazy Hydra on Cassia. That could have been a pretty good fight if he had to. What's going up on top here? Joshua Scott doing enough chip damage to take the top tower here. Lexia unable to respond to that. In the meantime, there's a big fight. Falstead flies up top. Does not care too much about the fight in the bottom. Sylvanas goes down to Zera's damage. Lexia's in the middle of the fight. Goes into stasis to avoid some damage here. It is a 5v4. However, Running Wild walk back into their towers. Phoenix Rising Xanthite return to bottom lane. Not too worried about this top tower here. Don't really know if they have what they about that. Two members are going to try to push Zool off of this top, and they do. Meanwhile, Running Wild. Varian advances onto Falstad, and a lot of ultimates come out to try to secure the kill on him, but Falstad dashes away just in time. Lots of engage tools on the side of Phoenix Rising Xanthite. We've got more Nados to push a target into his team. We've got Valkyrie. Oh, I missed the Dahaka kill up on top. That must have been a 2v1 gank upon him there. This bottom tower still needs to be chipped down by Xanthite, but there's no time because there is another objective phase to contest here.
Take the altars and put an end.
Reggie's taunts Blaze, but Blaze is actually taking a good amount of damage now. He stuns Varian to get away. Defensively uses Bunker to get out. Oh, in the meantime, Anduin is under attack by Zeratul, and Falstad gusts on the majority of the farmland to disengage from this team. Both of these altars are still up. Veggie's is going to try to cap it. Deckard is using his own materials to... Oh my goodness, another gank onto Dahaka. Goodness gracious. However, whatever happened up there in the middle altar there, he ended up having Dahaka's death, and Zeratul will have to go back to base with 200 health.
Mine. Red team has destroyed a fort.
Deckard going to be trying to take this point, unable to continue channeling, thanks to Blaze's oil spill ignites. Another taunt onto Blaze here. Blaze uses Bunker to escape, will get away with his life, but that center altar will be going to Phoenix Rising Xanthite. The score is 27-28 with 1 point favoring Phoenix Rising Xanthite. However, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 towers favoring Xanthite, and only 2 looking to do something about this over here. I haven't had a chance to talk about ultimates, although you saw some come out already. We're looking at Wailing Arrow, Mighty Gust, Isolation, Light Bomb, Bunker Drop, Ancient, funny, Leonardo, Valkyrie, Skeletal Mages, Shield Wall, and Might of the Nerazim. Well, we have another pause coming out from the Lazy Hydra. Wonder what's going on now. This is a good opportunity to have a drink. 500 ping, we can't live with that. Look at the stat screen here while we have a chance. Top 1 and 2 damage on coming out on behalf of Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Cassia 25.5k, Zeratul 20.2, and these numbers will be increasing by quite a bit, especially Zeratul's there. Not as much damage numbers for running wild. Of course, they are running a macro comp and not a pick blow up one person at a time comp, and so we're going to be seeing more plays that emphasize macro pressure than Phoenix Rising Xanthite, or at least that's what I suspect based on how drafting went. Look at experience contributed. Zool doing the double soaking at almost 11,000 experience points earned. Ahaka trailing behind it 9,200, and Zeratul a little just 1,000 behind, or not quite even 1,000 behind that. As we can see on the minimap here, Zool is aiming for a hello Reed, how are you doing? Based on what I can see on the minimap here, Zool is going to be taking the top Pumpkins camps. He's been largely ignored, or he was pretty ignored the first time he took that Pumpkin camp. And maybe that'll continue to be the case. Of course, we can see Dahaka on the minimap trying to burn down that converted tower that is in his territory. He wants that back. We don't want to see big, tall, red, let's see, what do they look like? Queen pieces, like chess queen pieces on that map. We want to see blue ones, or at least Ahaka does. Looks like they're about ready here. We'll be coming back into the game shortly. Okay, so Blaze zooms out of the way. If Veggies had engaged upon it, he probably would have died. That, at long last, Veggies does get the... Oh, he gets a tongue drag onto Zool. However, lots of damage is coming out. Oh god, this guy uses the Skeleton Mage's Scrap to get a cheeky kill onto him, but it doesn't have the suits going down here. Tornadoes comes out onto that looked like Sylvanas there. Blaze stuns Barry crawls out of the way. Blaze is pretty slow. Abilities onto the team, and Zeratul gets down. He's looking for those kills. There's a tongue drag and a good burst upon Deckard here. Deckard is dead. That is a 2-for-0 team fight favoring Running Wild. Two altars are coming up in the top lane here. Veggies is lurking in a bush. He wants to get a spicy taunt onto a target. It's going to be discovered by Dahaka. Dahaka gets a there's good damage going on to Varian and the Hunter. It's the Huntee. Running Wild secures this altar. Probably going to get this other one without much trouble.
Enough of this charade. Bring down the
Running Wild say, hey, you know what? While we're here, why don't we take boss? Oh, change their mind. Nope, they want to allocate their pressure elsewhere. They are a macro team, so there shouldn't be any dead space. Most of the time, taking boss, unless it's going to just simply be the last point to finish the game, is not what you want to do, because there's other lanes you could be pushing. It's a different kind of map than conventional Heroes of the Storm maps. Blaze, holy smokes, lots of ultis come out. Blaze goes into a bunker to save his life. Falstad gusts folks away, and he does. And however, Falstad does die. I believe that was to Zeratul. He's going to get increased. His damage is going to be spiking more and more every post 10 talent tier here. Phoenix Rising Xanthite get that camp. They need it because there are two. Excuse me. They need to recover that middle tower there. Teams are going to be trading these two camps. Excuse me. Phoenix Rising Xanthite will be trading those two camps for boss. Running Wild will take that boss because that's all they can do. They'll be taking this top camp as well. Falstad is going to be on the bottom by himself. We have another altar phase coming up shortly. Zool's getting discovered by... Oh, we don't want to engage on it. Probably not going to burst down the Zool with just Blaze and Healer.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
3 altars here, 2 on the bottom, 1 on top.
The altars have
Xeratul
risen.
says no thanks, I'm not going to contest that. And they get it.
Your powers
We start to Xanthite get the one with the
like all
bottom
the
central
others.
one.
The Raven
Looks like a
Lord.
team fight will be taken out here, breaking out here. You get the damage is split between the 2 teams here. There's good engagement on Andy, but not enough damage coming out to kill him. He's back in, he returns to the fight to save his teammate. Running Wild are pushed off of this point. They're not going to be able to bump them. Xanthite will take that. Will take that altar. Scores 16 to 10, favoring Running Wild. 6 kills to 4. Of course, half of those kills that Running Wild were all onto Varian within the first 2.5 minutes of the game. Spicy Fade onto Stool here. He's going to die. Good focus fire. Iva is going to get out. He thought he was going to help skill people. He's trading in and out like a good Xeratul will. But now he's stuck in between. He gets out. So many blinks, so many skills to get in and out. Good on Haiba to get out of that careful situation. The best solution to take care of Xeratul is going to be point and click CC. Let's see, he had a boot there. He's got a point and click stun and other tools like that. But Xeratul was a last pick, the very last hero selected, so he was able to not reveal so the strong, albeit vulnerable, but a hero with such particular vulnerabilities, so that there was no time to answer them. Fascinating engage. More Nados pushes the entire most members of Running Wild off the time, but they will recover the camp anyways. Single altar phase is coming out.
The swift heroes do not let
Big charge onto Cassia, but the rest of the team do not want to focus fire. They want to recover that, take that tower. There's a 5-for-5 team fight here. Lots of damage coming out here. Alexia, as Tahaka is in the middle of the scrum, can't get out. Neither can Blaze. He's going to get some good charges, but he's not going to have time to get out. Kyru's also a problem.
slain.
And he's running for his life. A very good leap of faith is going to save his Falstad's life, excuse me, as a stamina here. There's a lot going on the team fight. Phoenix Rise and Xanthite could have taken that camp when they wanted to, but they made a point to take this tower first so they can maximize the amount of shots that they can get there. They wanted to wait on that. Falstad thought he'd be cheeky and try to take it in the meantime. Very nearly died. Very nearly got... it was Monk who did dash away before Monk could do any meaningful CC to him. Score is 12 to 10. We're already level 20s here. It's turning into an exciting Towers of Doom match here.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
Entire team, Phoenix Rise and Xanthite are rotating instead, running away after Xeratul is doing chip damage to the center fort there. I was scouting. There's a rotational advantage. Xanthite are going to try to take this boss here. However, the entire team are going to try to bounce on it. Otherwise, Phoenix Rise and Xanthite, they withdraw from the fight. Veggie's just looking for a flank. He gets a flank onto Anduin. Anduin was taunted. Anduin Light bombs himself. Is that the first light bomb I've seen all game? Big! Big! Oh my goodness. Big wind tunnel coming out for... Wow, lots of... Oh my goodness. Two back-to-back leaps of fate saved very important teammates for running wild here. The fight is still gone, but nobody is dying. Speaking too soon here, anyone is going to return to the fountain. Falling Rich is running for his life. He's going to need to. Oh, a clever tornado secures his death, and Hiva cleans up 3 kills for Hiva here. It seems like the last one was Sylvanas, and the entire team is running wild back to the fountain. This gives Phoenix Wright Xanthite ample time to 6-cap them. And of course we have one more altar up here, but they don't want to pick it. They want to get 7 shots out. And they have 7 shots left. This is a poetic. Like poetic finish. They have 6 shots. They have 7 shots remaining. They're going to take this last one. Actually, once you get 6-cap, the core is going to continue issuing missiles
and end this siege.
all the way to the core, and that is going to do it. It's not look like very recoverable. To take the boss for good measure, and that will be game 1 going to Phoenix Rising Xanthite with a decisive 5-0 team fight coming out. Well played. GG. Have a look at the hero damage here. Like we saw earlier in the second pause, Zeratul and Cassia were first and second in the damage meters, and that remains to be the case in the post-game screen here. 56k coming out for Zeratul, and Cassia 53 right behind her. Falstad bringing up the top of Running Wild's damage here at 49. And Blaze just behind him, and so it looks like he was doing some pretty good damage there. Must be getting good pyromania, or I forget the name of his passive. Good flame streams and other things like that. Varian was very consequential with his taunts. Got good taunts when he needed them. However, Running Wild had good disengages. They had, let's see here, we had a Gust coming out as well. Sylvanas has Wailing Arrow to help to silence the mages and the healers on the other team, but it just wasn't enough. So let's see where we're going next. I'll be back in just a minute, folks. Osmanthus, how you doing, pal? Game 2, we are going to Cursed Hollow. Running Wild has picked it. They built a macro comp Game 1 on Towers of Doom. They may be thinking the same on Cursed Hollow. Cursed Hollow is a very big map and is very good for global heroes and folks like Sylvanas. They played Sylvanas last game. Perhaps they're thinking something like that. As far as PRX, they had pretty good success with their pick comp. Could tell you what they would do on a map like this. Excuse me, on a map like this. Looking forward to seeing what other heroes will come out here. There are lots of camps on Cursed Hollow. There's 2 bosses. The bosses are very consequential. On other maps, bosses are, well, you might say bosses are always consequential, but on a map like, for example, Alterac Pass, the bosses are not quite as strong. But matched with the push power you get with Curse on your side, you can leverage the power of bosses quite a bit more than you might on other maps. When you get 3 tributes, of course, the curse happens for the other team, and that means all minions have 1 health, and structures do not deal damage, which means that the boss will not be taking any PvE damage. I'll put it that way, as he advances down the lane there. And if you can line those 2 up together, that can be pretty brutal. So on this map, you want we're looking for zone control, boss control. Macro comps are pretty strong here. Can't wait to find out. Or you know what? Or maybe we'll just find a team fight comp where everybody just pushes their R buttons and gets a whole bunch of kills all together. It's just as easily. There's a lot of stuff you want to fight over, but you don't necessarily need to fight over every tribute. Let's say you've gotten your curse out. You've gotten all 3. You've gotten 3 tributes, and you have your curse. And your other team, they've only got 1. They only have 1 curse. You could just give up that particular altar if according to the condition of the map it made sense to. You can give that up to go for other things, and so that makes team fight comps where everybody pushes their R button all together for the most part. I wouldn't say less strong, but you don't use them all the time because you don't need to team fight over absolutely everything. Whereas on other maps, let's say Volskaya, Infernal Shrines, teams team fight over every objective.
Cursed
We are going
Hollow.
into banning here. Let's start drafting. Into the drafting here. Let's start banning. Excuse me. Running Wild map picked, and so PRX will be getting first ban and first pick. Those bans are coming out very fast last game. They're dragging their feet on this one. Of course, that happens most of the time. Sometimes you just want to lock in those bans right away because you're fearless, right? Brightwing, don't want to see Brightwing. Powerful, global global macro healer here. Zaka, another global hero. We are banning global heroes. These teams know that heroes with globals and with global map pressure are pretty advantageous here, and they're letting them. They're saying no, thank you. Can't play them. Don't want them. Sylvanas, yes, we are target banning not people but comps, a particular comp. We don't want to see macro pressure heroes. Stukov also getting banned. Running Wild is banning Stukov. Like I mentioned before, powerful healer. You might argue he's one of the best in the game. Fits most team comps and is good on all maps. So why not ban him or pick him? Hogger is going to be first picked for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Very, very good solo laner and very good at taking camps as well. There's a lot of camps on this map. Good zone control as well. Another hero that they Fanged Mammal. Greymane's coming out here, the Wolfman himself, for running wild, and Sonya as well. Haven't seen her too much lately, personally. Alexia will be playing her, also a pretty good solo laner. Abathur and Karazin, what the heck is going on here? Abathur, they didn't ban all the global heroes, did they? Abathur and Karazin paired up is a pretty nasty combination with Karazin wearing that Abathur hat. There's going to be move speed, there could be shields, there could be extra damage coming out, and Karazin's very mobile, very jumpy, pretty slight on the heals. This is a battle healer match with an Abathur there. Abathur, there's I think only a few maps that Abathur's any good at, and this is going to be one of them. Surprising. Surprising to see. If you're going to pick Abathur, I think it's surprising to see him coming out so soon. Coming out so soon as well. Third ban from Running Wild is going to be Falstead. More global pressure off the map. Uther. We don't want to see Uther here. Flexible healer, occasionally main tank. Good in double healer comps. Sometimes, usually the centerpiece of double healer comps. Wonder what it is about Uther that they don't want to see. It's an unconventional third ban. Very interesting. Zeratul, oh my goodness, Zeratul coming out for Kyrie, and May will be picked as well. That will be the tank for Running Wild. Zeratul. Holy smokes. Okay, so we've got a lot of unusual heroes coming out. We have Abathur, Karazin, Deathwing coming out for Phoenix Rising, Xanthite, and Zeratul. I suppose you see Zeratul a little more often than some of these other folks, and May as well. Holy smokes. Tracer and Karazin and Abathur. Okay, so you know what? The Uther pick makes a lot more sense now, because you would want to pick Uther to answer these mosquito-like assassins, the Tracers, that are really jumpy and do lots of death of 1,000 cuts sort of damage there. And the best answer to folks like Tracer, to folks like Zeratul, is going to be a guy like Uther, someone with a single target stun.
I will fight to my last breath.
What are these compositions? Rhaegar is going to be the healer for Running Wild here. Rhaegar, gosh, I have 35 levels on Rhaegar, but I'm gonna say I don't think he's a very good healer. He's very niche. He's only good on a couple maps, anyways. A lot of other healers do what he can do as good or better, with the exception of Bloodlust, and so maybe maybe they're going for Bloodlust there. But in my opinion, Rhaegar is a healer that is undertuned and then some. Wow, I don't even know how to assess these team compositions. They're so unconventional. On the right hand side, Phoenix Rising Xanthite are going to be jumpy Emmer Effers, and are going to be needling down the health bars of particular people on the other side. Deathwing is going to, one moment here, Deathwing is going to be dropping in.
Prepare yourself for battle.
To help contest camps and other objective points. Oh, I really don't know how these teams are going to pan out. This is Not against the book or any book that I've read. Anyways, in the green trunks, full on grits will be playing May. Mr. Executive will be on Rhaegar. Sorry for bashing him. I love him. Don't get me wrong. I like him. Lexia on Sylvanas.
4,
Kairu
3,
on
2, 1.
I'm seeing
Well, what are you waiting
on
for?
Greymane and C10 Verhund 1 on the Zeratul. In the red trunks, Hyva will be on Tracer, Joshua Scott on Hognasty. Iron will be on Karazim, the battle hero. Lazy Hider will be on the Slug himself, Zeratul. And Veggies will be on definitely the Black Dragon Gauss. Going out as Zeratul advances to top lane here. He's going to get out just fine.
Red team draws first blood.
1v3, Zeratul will be going down first blood, going to running wild. Greymane on the way to pick up the EXP all the same. See if they do a spicy camp invade. Maybe not. You have a camp invade over here on these boulders.
Heroes slain.
Tracer is going to be sent back to the fountain thanks to the Greymane. Good single target damage, good engage, good kill secure as well. It's 1 for 1, however, Running Wild will be keeping that camp for himself. Hogger is going to be taking these cruisers with the help of the Avatar Task. Just plenty of help to get it done. I'm a Wisconsin man. Smartly leveraging the Rhaegar for taking these camps. It's a pretty good camp clear, in spite of the shade I've been throwing. Just following around Greymane to help get these out. Let's see if we're gonna push with them. In the bottom lane, the Amazonas and the Dragon are going at it.
Gather tribute and earn my favor.
Two bruiser camps clashing in the mid. However, Running Wild will be advancing to take damage onto the gate. Good damage coming out on Greymane thanks to Tracer. It's fine. One tower down. First objective is going to be contested now, or will it be contested? Looks like Greymane's going to take this no problem, all by himself. Not enough bodies in the field. Zeratul staying put. Jamming onto Hogger thanks to the Avatar Head is going to get out just fine. Putting a Tracer. Oh boy, Zeratul's in trouble. Is he gonna flash out? He's gonna make it. He's not. Zeratul returns to the fountain for a second time. 3 minutes 45 seconds. Looks like these jumpy heroes here, these Tracer carries supported by an African. It's gotta be pretty dang dangerous right now. The largest health bars here. Zeratul will be getting out. Just a little bit of health left. Second tribute spawning in 15 seconds. Center right. On the side of Phoenix Rising Xanthite's side of the map. Yeah, hello idioms. How about that draft? These are really. What do you make of these drafts? It's hard to tell how these folks want to win fights and deal damage. The second objective will be going over to Phoenix Rising Xanthite, not going to be contested, very much like the first tribute was going uncontested. It's 1 for 1. rotational advantage for running wild. We have Mule coming out to help save some of the damage, but he's not going to be enough. These expect Xanthite come to answer, but are going to get killed all the same. Tracers at least. Running wild, they're going to chip this board right out.
Blue team has destroyed.
Hold on. 60 seconds. Yeah, Mule came out not too long beforehand. No chance to save it. Even if it did come out, there's just too much PvE damage to contend with to restore any of those health bars. When an Abathur has Mule, let's say the opposing team has Mule, your team needs to secure those structures because if you walk away from them, that's actually completely destroying that particular structure's health bar. It could be regenerated all the way back top, all the way back to max health. You don't want that. You want to, most of the time, those structure health bars do not go back up. Big fights breaking out over this. And here. I don't even know how to announce there's so many deaths going on. Lots of ultimates coming out. We are, let's see, massive orb. Oh my goodness, it's a 5-for-1 team fight favoring Phoenix Rising Xanthite. What a crazy turn of events that was. Joshua Scott will be taking this tribute uncontested. Meanwhile, the Kerosene and Tracer will be burning down this camp. What a wild play that was. They'll be taking it, and the boss will begin advancing upon top lane. Running Wild are thinking about taking their own, but there's no chance they're going to do it without being contested by the other team. Here they come. Might be a desperation play on that. They have Running Wild here. Greymane is going back to the counter again. Deathwing has come out to help secure some of these kills here. And Zeratul is dying again.
Gather tribute.
It's bad. Phoenix Rising Xanthite will be stealing the second boss here. This desperation play from Running Wild did not pan out. When Phoenix Rising Xanthite, I should say, I'll put it this way, Running Wild started this boss when Phoenix Rising Xanthite had just finished taking the second boss, which is plenty of time to rotate back down and contest it, and so I couldn't say that was the safest call from Running Wild there. Seven-sided strike coming out to help deal some damage to, or at least put the fear into Mei. It's not going to work. Mei is going to die all the same.
And now
thanks to Iron,
you shall fall.
to Kerosene, and to Hogger. The curse is out. It's causing a heck of a lot of trouble. Running Wild here. Meanwhile, boss still up. Wall here. Big engage coming out from Deathwing here. They're going to get the first key. The first key in 9 minutes and 10 seconds there. The boss is going to die right in front of the board there. Plenty of good push there. Very, very good.
Has destroyed a fort.
Haven't had a chance to go over ultimates. We've seen plenty of them already. It's already 13, 15 here. We've got Percival coming up. Right up there. Seen Leap, Bloodlust, nice wall. Sunset is right coming out, gives good damage onto Mei here. There's multiple targets being focused. It looks like Sonya has been the focus. Xanthite are getting good chip damage onto the center keep here. And Kaiba still wants more. Is he going to get a little more kills? Still skirmishing into the right in front of the core here. Xerxes is going to go down. So too is oh my goodness, you're going to get a hero. Have another one. Okay, Alexi's not going to go down, but there's going to be a 4-1 team fight. We're already advancing upon the core. Didn't even get a chance to get all the ultimates, so why don't we do it anyways? Billowing Roar, Shockwave, Pulse Round. It's hardly going to matter because there's so much good chip damage coming out onto the core already. Sonya's going to die by a death of 1,000 cuts from Tracer and the clone of I assume the clone of Tracer as well. There's 45% left, 43% left health onto the core there. What a power play from Phoenix Res Xanthite, saying they want this. They want this. They are a contender for this division. They want it all, and they pick a very spicy team comp that is pretty hard to answer there.
Gather tribute or face my curse.
So how does Running Wild get back into this game? The Alexia burns leave to cross a little wall here. That's pretty interesting. Tribute is spawning in 12 seconds here. This isn't a tribute that they need to contest. It might be smarter to simply grind up more experience and get onto our talent tier. However, it's true that level 20 is nearing ever closer for Phoenix Res Xanthite. You're already looking at a 43% core health. That could be pretty hard. So they're going to have to decide how they want to advance upon this game. Or it looks like Phoenix Res Xanthite say, go ahead, you can have this. Oh boy. Deathwing says, no way, you can have it. Oh, maybe one more is going to get it out? He does. Phoenix Res Xanthite say, don't worry, you can have it. Well, Deathwing's going to hassle you over it. We've got some chance advancing onto the core here. Abathur's going to take care of the wave pretty fast here. Something's going to respond to that. Phoenix Res Xanthite putting the strangle on Running Wild here, giving them lots of, putting them between multiple options, all of which are bad. Zeratul has to pick between responding to this or actually contesting the fight. Phoenix Res Xanthite wants to contest this boss here. Abathur clone comes out, cloning out, looks like it was Tracer. Grits need to do something for this boss here. You get the kill onto Hogger here, some straight coming out. Kaiba on Tracer is going to go down, so too is Sonya here with lots of low health bars. This is the fight that Running Wild needs, but how much are they going to pay in order to get it? A very clever spawn. Ice Wall is going to save Rhaegar's life, and my goodness, they hardly have 2,000 health between these three characters here, but they want to contest this point anyways. Abathur supported by Heresy supported by an Abathur is going to make a quick work of Rhaegar and of Greymane, and you know what it's probably going to look like. Oh my goodness. And perhaps May. Nope, Iron says, I want this. You know, nice try. I want this. It's not for you. I'm going to take this. Oh my goodness. All the same, we do have this boss advancing onto the key. Jules is going to be exploring this next health bar, and this boss is going to survive before getting 1397, almost lead, not going to get it. Anyways, this next teams are looking at this other boss that's ready to be contested here. Level 20 is already wired by Phoenix Res Xanthite. They want to pick fights. They want to put on as much map pressure as they can here, leaving Running Wild with very few answers. This will be the most consequential fight of the game here. What is Fallen Grid's going to do? There's a 4-person ice wall going out. Big damage is coming out for Phoenix Dragon Xanthite. Death is going to go down, and so too is Karazim. Tracer's doing a little bit of damage to the Abathur hat, but it's not much more she can do. Holy smokes, Running Wild recover the last 2 bosses again, both of which were statistically probable of being losses there. What are they doing right to help make this happen? Is it the Curse Bullet that's burning down the Deathwing immediately? Is it the Bloodlust that's exaggerating all the damage? Does Bloodlust return health with auto attacks too? Yeah. Yep, it heals them as well, so they're able to answer to mediate some of the AoE damage coming out from the Xanthite. Oh my goodness! Oh boy, Tracer takes care of Zeratus's go back to the fountain. All the same, first Running Wild is going to be pushing onto the bottom lane. Fallen Grid is in trouble. A big leap so much big leap onto Iris Tracer, so he's going to push her out. She's not going to die just yet. She's got an after hat on her, and the fountain yet. Fortunately, good big answers coming from Phoenix Rising Xanthite. All 5 members of Running Wild are gone, and the core is looking extra vulnerable right now. There's not going to be a single person available to defend for another 15 seconds.
The curse is over.
All the same, there's lots of damage coming up onto these 2 keeps here. That one's going to go down, no problem, but it may not matter because we have 3 heroes from Phoenix Rising Xanthite hitting a destroyer. Zeratus is a miracle. Versus all the core is all going down for Running Wild. That'll be a 2-0 victory for Phoenix Rising Xanthite. Well played. GG's. Wow, what a ridiculous match. That was interesting. Let's have the game summary here. When Phoenix Rising Xanthite took control of this game, they grabbed it and they did not let go. Now that doesn't mean that Running Wild didn't have some very, very good responses to that. Once in the very, very late game, they recovered. They were able to win 2 boss fights back to back. They did they drop a couple members doing so, but those were phenomenal attempts to take back control of the game. And but it all got turned around on them again as they advanced onto the bottom lanes. Keep wall there, where there's just too much damage coming out there. Very unconventional team compositions here. Tracer and Karazim, 2 very jumpy, highly mobile, death of 1,000 cuts sort of damage dealers here, making good work of Running Wild. Feels bad to be part of that. Let's look at these top damage here. Tracer at 68,000, Abathur at 42, Hogger at 37k. Excuse me. Top damage from Running Wild isn't going to come up until 4th place with Greymane at 36. A very dramatic game. High kill counts. Wild boss contentions there. Pretty fascinating, fun to see. This will advance Phoenix Rising Xanthite up 3 points. They're at 18 now. They will be at 21, trailing Caffeinated Knights by 3 points. They are first at 23. All the same, they are securing a very good seed for themselves in the postseason. Running Wild, meanwhile, will remain at 14 points, and Gilly Shark, who are 6th at 13, just 1 point behind them, might be thinking 5th place could be theirs this week. I don't know when their game is being played, but that might be on their mind. I'm going to check in with some of the folks here and see if we can't get an interview. One moment here. Thank you, Lazy Hydra. Happy to cast. This is my first cast. Maybe you could tell, but it is my number one, and I'm looking forward to doing more. Getting all kind of warmed up. It's fun to breathe some life into some of these matches here. Well, hello,
Hello.
hello, Iron. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are
Oh,
you?
I bet. I am super duper. Congratulations on your 2-0 win.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, holy smoke. So, second place team coming into this match against fifth place. Thank you were favored. Just basing things on that, and it came out 2-0. You must be feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah. Yep. Feels good.
Feels good.
Yep. Had a rocky start to the season, but things have been on the up since.
Is that right? Tell me a little story. Tell me a brief story about how the season's been going for your team so far this season.
Uh, Basically at the start of the season, we kind of lost our tank and we had to shift over to Hiva tanking. So it's just kind of been the journey of us learning Hiva as the tank.
Sure, sure. What kind of challenges has that introduced?
Um, Honestly, as soon as he got a little coaching and like kind of someone kind of told him like the basics, he fit right into the role really easily. So it's actually been pretty great, if you ask me.
Good, good, spectacular. Well, my goodness, game one, that was a pretty fascinating Towers of Doom there. I liked your single target blow up comp. Varian does a pretty dang good job of that, and just really appreciated that. How did you guys feel about your game one?
We felt bad about inting, before Varian hit level 4, but that just seems to be something we kind of do as a team. So once that was out of the way, um, yeah, it was Towers of Doom. They definitely took, bot tower office quite a bit, but because of the amount of pressure that Hive was able to put on with Zeratul, we were just hard winning the off lane and the double soak. So in the
Certainly.
end, it didn't matter too much.
Right. Zool got scored top fort fairly early, I would say. Most
Hmm.
of the time that doesn't happen on a Towers of Doom at this level of play. So that was a pretty nice thing to see. I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure you felt that way.
Yeah, it's always nice when you're in the 4 man and your off lane is winning. You're like, oh hey, that's nice.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Sometimes it's just.
Easy game for me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it's just gravy. Great. And holy smokes. In going into game two here, they took you to Cursed Hollow, and you
Hmm.
picked a team comp in that included a lot of unconventional here. Well, maybe the heroes aren't so unconventional themselves, but all together you wouldn't usually see Deathwing and Kharazim and Tracer and Abathur all
Yeah.
together. And so, walk me through how you and your fellow teammates arrived at a team composition that looks like that.
So if you go back through our kind of NGS history here, I think we've been playing this for 2 seasons now. I don't remember who we played it against last season in Div A, but it's kind of something we've got pretty polished up as a team. And it's the core is really just Abathur, Kharazim, Tracer running around, killing people, and having fun, while the other two guys are doing the hard work. And you can call it Deathwing in for the OBJ.
Sure, sure, right. Yeah, he's got good stalls, and he can drop down to help continue the stalls. Meanwhile, Abathur and Kharazim and Tracer
Yeah,
are.
it's a lot of sparkles and bullshit, and rodeo clowning, and kind of messing around with them to stall while the macro guys, get in place. Yeah.
Certainly, certainly. Yeah, that looked like that worked out pretty well for you. My goodness. Well, congratulations on your win here. Are there any other comments you have to share or shout outs you would like to give while you have the chance?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to my wife. She's watching. Hey, sweetie. Love you. And shout out to my team for having a good week, despite, as you may have noticed, Idians wasn't here today. So we were captainless.
Is that right?
But we pulled it together with the power of friendship and just having fun.
The power of friendship. Outstanding. Well, I wish you well for the rest of the season. You guys are certainly going to be nestled into a very good seed for the postseason, and so I wish you good luck into then. And thank you, and have a delightful rest of your evening.
Yeah, likewise, man. We'll see you out there.
Thank you. You too.